Hello, students. Welcome back. This is Mr. Campbell here with a short lesson today for our recorded YouTube lessons. On this day, we would actually be going to the lab to kind of illustrate and demonstrate the phases of the moon. So because we're all e-learning here, I'm just going to kind of give you some visuals that'll really demonstrate that. But first and foremost, before we do our visual lab today, again, it won't be requiring any paperwork, any things like that. I just still have the writing questions I believe that you are to complete for that. And then we'll have a notebook check as well as the online test to complete. So that kind of ties into what we're doing here. You'll need to draw and label this diagram on the right on page 10. So just have the moon phases all circled out. And then again, make sure you can see, just have all the phases kind of drawn out. So here we can see the new moon, crescent, first quarter. I'll explain those in a little bit. And then number two, what is the difference between a waxing and a waning moon? You're going to record that on page 9B if you have no more room on page 8B or 8 or 9B. So record that. No other updates on that end. Again, feel free to pause the video if I'm going too fast. So for the moon phases, there are two terms I need you to understand. Waxing means it's bright on the right side. Waning means it's a shade on the right side, okay? To be more specific, if a moon is waxing, it's going to be getting brighter, like as if you're like waxing a car, cleaning the car up, right? Making it look shinier. That's kind of the idea. And then if it's getting more shaded over time, that's going to be waning. Like we see the sun during a sunset, the light is waning. It's going away. Now, moonlight's always going to move from right to left. Okay, so keep that in mind. Moonlight moves from right to left. Okay, so that's how it's going to be moving on that front, right? So with that being said, we can clearly see here, right, these moon phases. So make sure to label these out. Really important. I want you guys to have the earth here and then have the sunlight here. Let me see if I can find a better one. But again, make sure you record these notes up here. These are super important for our go. But let me find, I think, one that has the sun with it, just to give you a better idea as to what I'm looking for on these, right? Give me 1 second. So if I look at moon phases chart, I think this is a good one, but this is better to label because I didn't have it on this because it would have given away the answers to the lab. But you guys obviously aren't completing the lab because we can't do it in person. So what I recommend is this chart. Actually, if you could draw this on page 10, I think it's a little better. I'm not sure I understand fully. Hold on, let me see if I find a really good one. Yeah, this one. It could be a little confusing. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm just looking at see if it has sunlight on it. Because I'm looking for one that can show the sunlight, like where it's coming from and why it's making those phases. That makes any sense, right? Okay, I'm just gonna settle for this one. This one will just have to do. Ignore the little description scribbles. But if you look here, can we get a larger view of that? How to make a moon phase chart? Oh, okay. Let's see if I can get. All right. Well, this is just frustrating. Hold on. We don't need to know how to make it. We just need to know what it looks like, right? Let me see if I can just get a picture of the image. Nope. It's just going to go straight to the chart. Here we go. Let me press this. Here we go. Nope. That doesn't work. Okay. Well, you guys, if we look here, I'm sorry. It's just one of those days, I guess. You can kind of see here. Here's the sunlight. Have the sunlight on the right side and the earth in the middle. Okay. Then it'll make this chart make a lot more sense. So like I said before, actually, let me just draw on this, right? I recommend, again, having sunlight. I'm going to try really hard to draw as best I can. Okay. So this is where the sunlight's coming from, right? And then here we'd have the earth, right? So like basically how the sunlight's reflecting how the sunlight is reflecting off of the moon. Okay. Again, it's hard to write with the mouse, guys. My apologies. But you guys get the idea. Okay. So Earth's in the middle here. The sun's over here. And from Earth's perspective with the sun, this is how it looks, right? How the moon looks. So if the moon's sitting behind the Earth and we have the sun, right? Well, it's going to look like a full moon. That's where we get a fully lit up moon. Okay. And vice versa. A gibbous is just like a gibbous is basically, again, new moon, waxing, crescent. You guys know what a crescent is. Probably like when you bite a cookie, get the leftover of the cookie. That's a crescent, right? First quarter is where it's half a moon, but it's light on the right side. Last quarter, also known as third quarter. So I'm going to put third. Okay. Or last, right? Either one. That's going to be that. Waxing gibbous, waning gibbous. Waxing gibbous, it's getting brighter. A gibbous is like an almost full moon. Waning gibbous is now it's going to get more shaded. Last quarter, again, shade on the right, light on the left. Waning crescent, new moon, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Another thing I want you to draw on page 10, or copy for us on page 10, is the eclipses. Okay. A lunar eclipse is when the moon is blocked by the Earth. You might get like a blood red moon in this situation, as you see here. Pretty cool. And a solar eclipse, which are really, really cool events. We've got one of those a few years ago. That's when the moon blocks the sun. When the moon blocks the sun from Earth's view. Okay. Only can happen on specific parts of Earth. A really cool event when it does happen every couple of years, it seems like. Okay. So just to give you a glimpse of kind of what those moon phases are going to look like in the lab if we did do a lab in person.
Adopting my dog has completely changed my life.
And again, ignore the commercials. I have like 2 minutes, everybody, so I'm going to try and be quick here. It's going to be a quick lesson today because it was a lab today. As you see here, we would basically hold a styrofoam ball up to a lamp, and you'd position it based on the sun and the moon. So you're the Earth, right? The lamp is the sun. The light bulb is the sun. And then the styrofoam ball is the moon, right? So in front of if it's right in front of the sun, that's a new moon. It's fully shaded. It'd be that solar eclipse, right? But then you're starting to see the crescent. See that light? This is how exactly why the moon gets lit up the way it does in space. Okay. Moving your arm again further and further. Now we're perpendicular to the sun. We've got a first quarter moon, light on the right, shade on the left. Okay. And again, we can kind of see over time. All right, the gibbous moon, almost a full moon. And then now when you're positioned directly between the sun and the moon, now we get a full moon. Okay. So we can see all the phases, and then it kind of goes through the rest, right? We can get the idea. Okay, and just a last quick clip on, again, no questions today. Last quick clip. Why not show a question here? Hold on. Okay, so, and again, I was going to show some stuff about the phases, right? But let's see if we have time. Let's see, hold on. I got 1 extra minute. So kind of go over the phases here real quick. 1 second.
Different portion to glow. The moon has 4 main phases. New, first quarter, full, and last quarter. It takes about 1 week for the moon to change from one of these phases to another. In between, the moon is either a crescent, which means it's less than half full, or gibbous, which is more than half full. When the moon appears to be growing, we say that it is waxing.
Yep, getting brighter, right?
If it appears to be getting smaller, it is waning. During a full moon, if the moon, earth, and sun align, and the moon passes through the earth's shadow, a
lunar eclipse.
will occur. But since the moon's orbit is inclined about 5 degrees to Earth's,
And the other way around,
the moon
would
normally
be a
passes
solar eclipse.
either above or below the
All
Earth.
right. So again, this is Mr. Campbell. I've got about, let's see if I can get this last little section up. Let's see if we can do this real quick. Oh, okay, guys. Looks like the bell rang on me. This is Mr. Campbell signing out. Make sure to do your online writing assignments, online tests, and notebook checks will be on Canvas very soon. Mr. Campbell signing out.